And welcome back. Right now, 9:23. And just because we're well into summer, it doesn't mean that we're in the clear when it comes to your allergies. And thanks to humidity and all the rain in South Louisiana, some may be suffering due to other types of allergens. Dr. Reena Mehta of Uptown Allergy and Asthma joins us now to explain it. And, Dr. Mehta, a lot of people say, boy, the growing season's over, the grass, the trees have bloomed, so I'm in the good, but not necessarily.
Not necessarily, exactly. We traditionally think of spring and fall as your allergy seasons, but in Louisiana, we don't exactly have traditional seasons. And so the summer actually brings quite a bit of humidity. And with all of the rain that we've been having, things like mold and dust mite really become a big problem this time of year.
I was going to say the mold out there is really, really bad. I mean, the grasses are just almost dying. There's so much water.
Exactly. And so when we think about rain and humidity, that brings out a lot of mold, and people who suffer from that can have a lot of sneezing, congestion, asthma even. And then as August comes around, that's when we start thinking about the weed season, like ragweed and things like that. That becomes the pollen that becomes more active, and things like wind really brings out the pollen. So really the summer can be a big time for pollen and allergy sufferers.
It doesn't really have to be grasses and trees. Many people are allergic to bee stings or any type of, insect stings.
Exactly. So also with the summer months, things like stinging insects, fire ants, which is a big problem in South Louisiana, bees, wasps, yellow jackets, hornets. If you are at risk for getting insect stings and you suffer from allergies, these reactions can actually be potentially life-threatening. And so if you get stung by an insect and you have more than just your local skin reaction like shortness of breath, wheezing, hives all over, that is a reason to think about seeking medical care and going to an emergency room and carrying an EpiPen.
Definitely so. Some things we may not think about. It's baseball season, going to the park to watch the kids. And people with peanut allergies, even if they don't eat them, if they get them, say, airborne within their mouth or their nose, that could really create some issues too. So little things you don't think about, but let's talk about even allergies from foods.
Exactly. And so also the other thing to think about is a lot of people are barbecuing this time of year, and that's when there's a lot of fresh fruit like peaches and watermelon and apples. And people who have pollen allergy can actually have oral or mouth reactions to fresh fruit. And so what happens is if you have pollen allergy, the proteins in pollen can actually cross-react with fresh fruit. And so when you eat those foods, sometimes it can make your mouth itch. It's almost like you're eating pollen. And that's actually pretty common. And so if you notice that your mouth gets itchy after eating certain fresh fruits or vegetables, just know it's not usually life-threatening, but it can be a nuisance, and it can be uncomfortable.
So where does Louisiana stand, especially South Louisiana, with allergies? Because there's so many airborne particles. There's so much going on with the weather, and we do have a lot of greenery. Where do we stand in terms of, in the nation? I mean, are we in the top 10 of cities that have the highest allergies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, because, again, we mentioned we don't have traditional seasons. So really, in Louisiana, we suffer from year-round allergies. When you go places like the Northeast, it's very demarcated, in the spring and in the fall. Over here, it's a year-round issue. And so really, you can have problems winter, summer, and spring and fall in Louisiana. So we have some of the highest allergies.
So with the kids, you just have to kind of keep an eye on them, make sure that even they understand what's going on. I mean, if they eat something and, they can't breathe, or, they get that burning sensation. I mean, kids really need to be educated as well, because as they grow up, we may not know that. So we're just about out of time. Where can people go to get more information real quick?
Okay, so, if you are local, obviously you can go to your local allergist. I'm Uptown Allergy Asthma. And also there's lots of websites online where you can get lots of information. The American College of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology, American Academy of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology. There's lots of good resources online if you wanted more information about summer allergies. All
right, Dr. Mehta, thank you very much. And again, just kind of watch that sneezing and sniffling. We appreciate it.